your family cooperating or competing? Cooperation is when we work together. Competition is when we work against. So, is your family cooperating or are you competing? That's the question right there, Pilgrim. Are we working together? Are we celebrating each other's successes? Are we genuinely proud of each other and saying, hey, you did an awesome job. That was fantastic. And celebrating each person's accomplishments for their own effort, for their own right? Or are we competing and Johnny got this and Sally's like, but I got this, and they're like constantly one-upping each other, right? As a husband or a wife, as a partner, are we celebrating our partner's accomplishments and their victories, or are we threatened and having to like one-up them or even one down them? And you had this, but I had such a bad day, and it was so, and we race to the bottom. So are you encouraging? Are you amplifying, right? In the best relationships, the joys are amplified and the pains are minimized. In the worst relationships, it flips, and the pain is maximized and the joy is minimized. Where do you want to be? What do you want to be experiencing for you, for your partner, for your kids? Do you want to amplify the joy or amplify the pain? Competition is not a bad thing. It's not a dirty word. It's how all great things have gotten better when we use it as a tool and it's part of an overall experience of life, an overall process, versus it's the only thing that matters. I must be number one. I must be the best. I must. There was a family I worked with, and mom was actually the VP for a president of US Bank, like the president. She was his assistant. And so, I'm working with her daughter. She's like 8 or 9. And we talked about letter grades for what we do in martial arts. And A is a black belt excellence. It's speed, power, and body awareness. A B is 2 of the 3, and a C is 1 of the 3. A is 3 of 3. And mom is like, well, C's are unacceptable in our family. And I said, I love that standard. And I absolutely agree with you at the higher levels. But when we're first learning, because we're integrating the body, the mind, and the emotions simultaneously, we're doing a kick or a punch, and there's balance, there's distance awareness, there's all these different factors. A lot of times we're going to start at that C because we're developing the body awareness. I'm not so concerned with speed and power. If a kid is trying too hard and they have bad form in a punch, they could hurt their wrist. They could damage it now when they're young. And the best part of being injured when you're young, you have the whole rest of your life to enjoy the injury. So I'm a big fan. Let's keep everybody safe. Let's keep everybody relaxed. Let's progress. So I love your standard, and I absolutely support that in so many different areas. With martial arts, she's probably going to start in the C, and then we'll build towards that B and eventually get to the A. Does that work for you? And she said, yeah, that made sense to her, right? I always make sure I get feedback and I calibrate. Are we on the same page? Are we understanding each other? Because if she had said no, then I would have changed my conversation a little bit. I would have kept going until she understood what I understood and we actually did genuinely get it. Because I'm not here to compete with mom, and mom is pushing her daughter to get A's when it's physically impossible for most kids to be able to do a black belt level performance when they're first learning a skill, right? You got to learn it before you can earn the skill. So I got to make sure we are communicating, but that we're cooperating. We're working together to create the biggest win possible for her family, for her daughter, and for the other students in the martial arts school. It's got to be a win-win-win, or we're going to have some problems, either now or in the future. So, is your family competing, or is your family cooperating? And cooperating is the best place to be. How can you celebrate each other's wins? So I'm curious, what are you doing to celebrate each other's wins? What are you doing to be able to realize that competition and switch it back to cooperation? How can we get on the same page and work together? Okay? Let me know what you're doing. Comments down below. I'd love to know more. And make sure you hit the subscribe, like, and turn on notifications so that you get the next video when it comes out. You guys make it an outstanding day, and I will see you when I see you. Bye.